Hello again. Today let's talk about cutting the cord. It's very easy, it's very simple. What you need is a smart TV to start with, or you can get one of these Roku boxes called a Roku Ultra, or you can get a Roku stick or a Fire Stick 4K. I recommend 4K for everything because even if you don't have a 4K TV, the processor is so much faster that it'll give you better results and a better experience. You don't want the little circle of death waiting around for you. When you cut the cord, you're going to need internet and Wi-Fi. So if you have some crappy service like Spectrum, no, I'm just kidding, Spectrum. No, I love you. You have our internet. We love you. But if you are just tired of those big bills and hidden fees constantly, yeah. If you live in an HOA community and have cable because they include it, or an apartment because it's included, and you're stuck with it, like me, you're stuck. So we get our internet from Spectrum. Fine. Whether you're getting it from T-Mobile, Verizon, those are the new places to get it. They're 5G networks. Broadcast the internet to you, and boom, you've got it, and you replace it. That's called cord cutting 2.0. You tell Spectrum, I don't want the internet, and I don't want the cable. Now you need internet. You need to get it set up with Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T Fiber, something. You need to get something set up. We still have Spectrum. Your speed should be 100 megabytes per second. Will be fine for Netflix, okay? A lot of you are going to want to get Netflix. And there it is. There's the king. If you're starting to stream and you want to get into it, everyone starts with Netflix. Got tons of shows, a lot of good ones, a lot of bad ones, but the idea is to fill your day and your nights. Create your own schedule. You don't have cable, so Monday night, what are you going to watch? Well, I'll watch something on Netflix, right? And a lot of times Netflix likes to release everything at once, which people love, but then it's done. And people go, what do I watch from now? Well, there's tons of stuff on Netflix to watch. You've got a lot of network stuff that they've sold the rights to Netflix, and they're not there forever. But you may want to get an NCIS. Never got to see it all. Started season 1, got a million episodes, and start watching every Monday night. You're going to watch NCIS, and there's another NCIS. Or you might want to get one of the old CW shows and watch that. And if you got it commercial free, you're spending a little extra money. Episode after episode, binge watch a few. That's just when you watch the same show over and over. The best shows you cannot get on cable are on these streaming services. Some of you have heard of Game of Thrones. Yeah, The Sopranos. Yeah, they're on Max. Now, HBO Max was the name you're familiar with, but Max is what it's called now because it's merged with Discovery Plus. Excuse me. Now, this, for you in the United States, Paramount Plus is your CBS app. In our house, we spend the extra money for now, Paramount Plus with Showtime. They've merged, and when you get it with Showtime, you get it ad-free, you get a few live channels, live sports, and news. That's cool, right? And CBS is the #1 network in the United States. So if you're going to catch up on a lot of good shows, you're going to find them on CBS. And you can watch them currently. They usually air the next day. That's how it works. Or, you can not, but you can still get your CBS this way. Hulu has ABC. And that's merging with Disney Plus. So eventually that'll be up there. It should be still by itself when they're finished merging. But you can also get it with Disney Plus. If you have kids, you've probably got Disney Plus already. Yeah. Or if you're just getting into streaming, cutting the cord, all the kids are going to want Disney Plus. Nickelodeon's on Paramount. You get SpongeBob. Yeah. Okay. Prime Video. If you have Prime shipping, you have this free. Okay. They just started with some ads. We watch it with the ads. Not a big deal. Got some good shows on it. Definitely a keeper if you got the shipping, right? Peacock is NBC. It's one of the least popular apps, but it still has that NBC content if you can't get it anywhere else. If you want to, you don't need network stuff all year long. But some of you are going to find sports on some of these network things. Some of you are going to want YouTube TV and spend 70, 80, whatever they're charging just to get sports. Some of you are going to want local stuff. But again, local news can be found on YouTube. You plug in your WGBH or whatever they little call letters are for your thing into search on YouTube, and they'll show you clips of the news and the weather and sports. And you're like, oh my gosh, and subscribe to it. Go subscribe because that's free. And you can go back and forth to it and see news clips and keep up with what's going on in the world. The volcano in Iceland, we were watching constantly on YouTube. We weren't looking for the news and waiting for the story to, the rocket launch, new rocket launch, great. Let's see it now. YouTube. We didn't watch the news for 30 minutes to see if they mentioned the rocket launch. No, that's crazy. You see, this is on demand. This is cord cutting. You got a pause button. You get up, you get something to eat, you can go to the bathroom, you can answer the phone, you can talk to people, you can go to bed. Next morning, you get up, resume, boop, and resume where you were when you left off. Simple cord cutting. You're watching the greatest shows out there right now. You get movies, theatrical movies now, or they're going back to their old way of doing things. Theatrical release, selling the movie eventually after so many months, renting the movie after so many months, and then eventually one of the streaming services has a deal to get it. And you're like, well, Paramount, so it's on Paramount Plus, right? Unless they sold the rights to some of those movies early to Netflix or Max or somebody. And then they may have it for a few months, and then it'll be on Paramount Plus. I think the last Mission Impossible got sold to a different thing briefly, and then it was on. We just waited, and here it was. Good movie, lots of action. And watching a movie like a movie with no ads. And the thing they do on cable is they have to fit it in that timeline. A TV show has to be exactly 30 minutes. A movie has to be exactly 2 hours to fit into that space so they can sell ads. Occasionally they run it a little long, but they have tricks to speed up the sound and the voice a little bit so that you don't notice it, or they'll cut out a key scene and you'll be like, wasn't there a scene there where so-and-so did so-and-so or so-and-so said something? Have they edited this movie? Yes, they have for time. That way they can fit it into 2 hours and sell ads based on that time period. The ads in streaming services just kind of kick in, which is a little annoying because the shows where a lot of them were not made for ads, but there aren't that many. It's like having cable, but not as bad. Cable has a lot of ads. If you're paying for a streaming services and you're getting ads, you're getting this many ads. If you go to something like these wonderful things like Pluto TV or Tubi or Roku channel, they'll have ads, and they're probably a little more than you'd get on Paramount, but not as bad as cable. Okay, that's kind of how it works. Pluto TV, you've got to get. It's free. Tubi, free. Roku channel, free. You like music? If you have a Spotify account, you can get it on this and watch and listen and just go about your day and listen to music. Pandora is still free. They have a premium version, but hey, you can get it free. Vivo, if you've never heard of that, music videos. You can play those in the background. Not as popular AMC Plus, Stars, and MGM, but they're decently popular. Discovery Plus, a lot of you like HGTV, the Gaineses, you know who they are if you watch Discovery Pluses. But that is merged with Max. So if you get Max, you get Discovery Plus content. Now everyone says you don't get it all. Like if you want to go back to season 1, a lot of times that won't be there. Maybe on Discovery Plus it might be there, but they, to save money, you don't give everybody everything. And that's what a lot of them are doing to save money now. But you're getting a lot of stuff. To watch something on Tuesday night, you might want to start with season 1, or you might want to just catch up with NCIS Hawaii with this season and keep up with what's going on this season, and from now on just keep up. We did that with Hawaii 5-0. We had missed it for years and said, hey, whatever happened to Hawaii 5-0? We just called up that season we were in and wrapped it up all the way to the end. But right now we're watching The Blacklist on Netflix, and we started with season 1, episode 1. And it's a great show, and we're just like, and every once in a while, Netflix, hey, let's watch The Blacklist. So take it time. Don't turn all those boxes in for about a month. Just get your streaming act going, get your Netflix, get it, whatever things you want to get, and try it out. Try that pause button, try the on-demand thing. And when you take those boxes back that you don't need, you still need a router and a modem, but you take them back and they want to make a deal for a year or 6 months or 3 months at some great price that will have extra charges hidden in there because it's cable, right? That's what they do. But no, just say no, thank you, and be nice and turn in your boxes because you've got your smart TV or a Roku device or an NVIDIA Shield or a Fire Stick or something that's giving you access to the world of streaming. I have an Apple TV box here that I love. My wife loves the Roku. We switch, so we have 2 different remotes. We each have a remote, but if something goes wrong, if Hulu acts up a little bit on her Roku, we'll switch to the Apple TV and watch it. And in a couple of days, it'll fix itself. On a TV version of Hulu, if it acts up, it could be a long time before it's fixed because they don't keep the apps up to date. It's not a big critical thing for them. They're selling TVs. The whole smart TV thing is probably an extra $100. And everyone's got them now. Every TV you could look at pretty much says smart, so you've paid an extra $100 just for that. And I paid about $100 for this Roku Ultra, but you can get Fire Sticks cheaper. You can get there's a stick for the Roku you can get, but I recommend the 4K because it gives you better processing power. Always, even if you don't have 4K TV, it don't matter. So take your time. Don't think that your back's to the wall. Don't be the guy that turns everything in and tells Spectrum to go jump. And then realize you need what? Wi-Fi? What? Like if this Roku box, sometimes they don't come with an HDMI cable. Now on your remote, you'll see source or input. On Samsung, I've got source. You got to point it towards the TV. HDMI 2 has the Roku, 3 has the Apple TV, and since I have a cable box, it's on HDMI 1. Usually your main box is on 1. And at one point, they actually turned the TVs on and off, but the same week that magically stopped working. It still works for the cable, but But so we keep the old remote close by. Need it. So I highly recommend for cost savings, cut the cord. Fall in love with some shows on Netflix. If you want to try Max, fall in love with that. Your biggest services are Netflix. YouTube is the biggest. I mean, everyone on the planet has YouTube, and you can get hooked on those shows. My wife watches gardening shows. You just type in gardening, these people talk and talk and talk for days and hours, and I'll walk in and she's watching this, or she's watching something else, or all these weird little doctor shows, or there's all sorts of little stuff. This is the number 2 search engine in the world. Number 1 is Google. Number 2 is YouTube. Billions of people are on this thing. And Google owns YouTube. Yeah. So any subject you want, even cord cutting, you can find on YouTube. What's on, if you're wondering, well, what's on TV? I use Next Episode app for what's on coming up, and then you pick the shows you want to see. So that's a good plus for you. So I highly recommend get started, get your foot in the door. Don't be afraid, but take a month, keep both, slowly migrate off, have a discussion with the family. What do you want to see? Everyone's probably going to want Netflix. Even if you're rotating services from one month to the other, you get it at the first of the month, you end it the next of the month, you look at Next Episode, and sometimes it can be a little off, but Next Episode, and you're like, well, when's the next House of the Dragon episode come? Ooh, there's the date. And if it lists all the shows, you're like, oh, and these are the dates they will probably air. So if I get Max, like right before those last 3 or 4 shows, I can catch up and then watch the week to week to week, because I don't want to see a spoiler on YouTube. YouTube might say, so-and-so dies, and you're like, no, I don't want to know that yet. So you don't want any spoilers, but they were called water cooler shows, where everyone at the water cooler at work talk about Game of Thrones, right? or Seinfeld or The Office or something like that. And if you love The Office, it's on Peacock. And I think Seinfeld's on Netflix. I think they bought the rights, or Max, one of the two. But sometimes they sell the rights everywhere, even though if you know it's an ABC or an NBC show. Or Universal made it, which is on Peacock. Peacock is NBC Universal. Or a Warner Brothers produced show. Ted Lasso, #1 show on Apple TV. Huge show made by Warner Brothers. You're like, oh, they could have had it on Max. They could have, but they made some money selling it, so they put it on Apple TV. That's the way it works in the business. And occasionally they'll sell shows to these other guys temporarily. Some Star Trek shows may float over to Netflix or some other place, and Amazon. And for about 6 months, 3 months, whatever they want to do, whatever deal they make it. So, but Paramount's the home of Star Trek. It's the home of Taylor Sheridan, the guy that created Yellowstone, which is technically now on Peacock. But all his other shows are on Paramount Plus. And he's got some good stuff. You ain't going to find that on cable, all right? You're missing out on all these shows. All these great shows. So don't say, I want every cable channel. I want my old shows. You can find most of this stuff. Come on. And you're going to find new favorites to find and watch. So enjoy cutting the cord. Whether you get a Roku, whether you get a Fire Stick, or NVIDIA Shield if you're a little more Android based and you like tech and you like tweaking things, that's the high-end Android based. Not a lot of people have it, but it's supposedly a really good unit. Apple TV has a strong processor. That's why I like it. When something acts up on Roku, usually Apple TV will have it working. It's very rare. When we were getting rid of, Netflix was getting rid of these people that like to hijack the passwords from their relatives and stuff and use it. Everybody's getting on that. They're not letting people have shared passwords. Sorry. But we had it on the Apple TV for months after Roku had given up and said, this account is not, right with the owner is in one city and you're in this city and you're on a different, because it knows where your little Wi-Fi is. Okay, that's the key. Even if you were across the street, it knows, no, something's not right here. That's how they get you. So they don't want you sharing. Everyone's going to be doing it. So we'll slowly lose and we'll have to rotate in. Maybe 1 month on for Netflix, 2 months off, which probably ain't going to happen in a lot of households. Might be 2 months off for Max, but a lot of households are going to be, no, we need our Netflix. Yeah, and you got kids, you might need your Disney Plus. But, waiting around for the next Star Wars show and then find out it's not that great, or a Marvel show at Disney, when you could have waited a couple months and just watched it back-to-back episodes like if you just had Netflix. See what I mean? Save money. The big 8 that you need to really concentrate on are Disney, Prime, Max, Hulu, Paramount, Peacock, Netflix. Is that 8? That should be it. Get Pluto and Tubi and Roku channel if you get a Roku device. Disney, yeah. They're the main ones you want to get. You can sneak in that MGM Plus or AMC Plus if you feel like it. But I'd try it 1 month, first of the month, cancel before the 28th or so. They'll still give you 30 days. I cancel after a couple of days. I just sit there and go, cancel. And it says on my little iPhone under subscriptions that this, will end on the 30th or whatever. I'm like, okay, whatever. And if it ends, it ends. And then I just resubscribe. So simple. That way I'm always focused. I got it on my calendar. Subscribe to streaming service on the 1st. 28th, cancel, which really I've already canceled. But you don't do it before the 30 days because most of them are 30 days. And you don't want to forget or otherwise they'll renew you. And you don't want to be that person trying to call. I didn't mean to renew. No, just tough it out and tough love and keep it another month. Cancel right away and keep it for whatever long you just paid for. You know, they don't want to hear from you about, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, don't be that cord cutter. Let's just enjoy. I mean, there might, House of the Dragon's on. You may want to renew that max. If they drag it out for 3 months somehow, you might want it for 3 months. You know, or you might be using your next episode app to figure it out. You know, I can skip the first 2, and then I'll start on 3. No, I'll start on 4, 5. There. You know, you got all these options. Streaming TV is like the old days of watching Doctor Who. When I was young, I noticed they had like 6, 8 episodes. And you're like, what's that? This is what they do in Britain. They just have a few episodes, and that's it for the year. And streaming TV's adopted that. You know, network stuff, still 20-some episodes, unless there's a writer's strike or COVID or something. You know, that's backed out a lot of stuff. But you'll usually see the network stuff start around, touch in September maybe, but skip September. October, November, skip December, because during the holidays, a lot of these companies know you're not home to watch anything. They don't want to give you anything. January, they might start back up again. If they do, skip it. You know, just skip it. February, March, April, May. And they'll wrap up in May because they know summer's coming. Nobody's watching network stuff. There might be a few new shows they try out to see if they stick. But for the most part, you know, you don't need the network stuff then. And you'll see some of your biggest shows popping up a lot of times on Netflix and Disney Plus during those times. Having Netflix for the holidays, so the whole family, if they come over, Netflix, oh, Dad, Mom and Dad have Netflix. Oh, yeah, we can watch this, this, and this. They're happy campers. You know what I mean? If you're fans of Shark Week on Discovery is on Max. This year it premiered at the very end of July. And I was like, well, I'm not going to get it for July. I'll get it for August. So I get Max in August. And Disney has Shark Fest. So if I want to see that, that premiered in July. So July, Disney, skip 2 months, July, then Disney. You see what I'm saying? You get Netflix, skip 2. Get Max, skip 2. Get Disney, skip 2. Now these are Prime services. If you want them commercial free, you can pay extra, or you can say, no, that's okay. I'll watch a few commercials, save a little money, and skip. Because when you get something like I got Paramount Plus for the year, great content, lots to watch, start at season 1 on some, stay up on others. But it's more money. But it's our one thing we love to get. And we like Apple TV. We'll get that sometimes, just like the high quality shows. We watched Monarch. For All Mankind is our favorite show. Ted Lasso was wonderful. Shrinking was wonderful. They usually have great high quality content on Apple. It's definitely something to check into and to watch as part of your 8, okay? Definitely. I would give it a try and dig in. Tom Hanks' Greyhound movie is there. He does a great job on that movie. So Coda won the Academy Award, an Apple TV movie. They cheat and release it for a week in theaters, and they get qualified for the award, and it wins. Really, yeah. So cord cutting is the future. This is what everyone's going to. Once you figure it out, it's easy. It's easy. If you ever have problems with your modem or router, I unplug everything, wait 2 minutes, plug it back in and see. Or you can call your internet provider like Spectrum. Is there an outage in our area? Or you can get notifications on your phone. And if they say there's no outage, I unplug everything. I even go so far as to unscrew the little cable on the router and screw it on the modem, screw it back in. Try that as my trick. But usually 2 minutes unplugged, plug it back in, wait about 2 or 3 minutes for it to kick back up, and try it out again. Because we know we have an Alexa thing. You can ask Alexa, are you there? And it'll, no, it's not there. It'll say it's not there. It's having troubles right now. Like, no internet. So that's how you deal with that. It's not a big deal. Okay? So I want you all cutting the cord, getting rid of those satellite things, and just get internet right now. It's the way to go. And it's not that expensive. If you don't get YouTube TV, you don't need to watch football 24/7. If you do, there's always the NFL Network, Amazon has Sunday Ticket, I think they're selling, or YouTube. YouTube has Sunday Ticket. YouTube has Sunday Ticket. There are all sorts of apps for that. A lot of people are buying the rights to sports. It's changing all the time. Next season it'll be changed again. One of the playoff games was on Peacock this year on the NFL. And people complained and griped, but they got Peacock. They subscribed real quick and got to watch a few shows. So hey, you want to watch Peacock occasionally? Wait for a big game to come on right near the Super Bowl. Playoff game. Yeah. But anyway, we've been talking long enough. This is our little Roku remote. You guys, we'll see you again. Happy cord cutting. Bye-bye.